Hi everybody, this is a video for explaining something about engine crew responsibilities. I'm going to start with the engine cadet. The engine cadet assists in all maintenance, cleaning and watchkeeping duties as assigned by the second engineer or in the other companies, the third engineer. The engine cadet shall ensure that he is familiar with all company policies and procedures and follows them throughout his tenure on board. The main responsibilities of the engine cadet are reporting damages and irregularities immediately to the second engineer and a chief engineer, using the personal safety equipment needed for the job, when executing hazardous work to follow the work procedures, familiarizing with the safety procedures in the engineer's area, preparing himself in the duties assigned in the fire and master role, and finally, watchkeeping duties if licensed. The chief engineer is responsible for all welfare training, conduct, and good behavior of his staff. Relations with the staff should be sufficiently close to enable an assessment of their technical competence, personal qualities, and applications. It is of high importance that all personnel are keeping good health and adopt safety procedures. Chief engineer is responsible for issuing following instructions to the engine room staff. For example, engine room logbook update and signed daily, shipboard working arrangements in the watch plan, own standing orders, night order book, fuel change over procedures from residual fuels to low sulfur fuels and vice versa, blackout procedures, regaining and transfer of power from emergency to main switchboard, charging the air receivers, and restarting of main engine, auxiliaries, and boiler. One of the most important things that chief engineer have is the chief engineer standing orders. With reference to the contents of the chief engineer standing orders, the following is considered to the minimum requirements. 1. Detailed responsibilities of the officer on watch. These shall include, but not be limited to, the official logbook entries to make regular routines to be carried out, checklists to be filled and maintained. 2. Guidelines, instructions for handling over the watch. 4. Operational duties for specific personnel, for example, second engineer, third engineer, ratings, and electrotechnical officer when if is applicable. 4. Use of daily work meetings for reporting jobs done or routines. 5. Protocols in the event of main machinery failure, loss of electrical power during UMS. 6. Protocols in the event of repeat alarms during a UMS period. 7. Protocols in the event of having to good. 7. Guidance for operating the plant in the event of heavy weather. The junior officers. The chief engineer, assisted by the second engineer, should keep the junior officers fully advised of the activities of the company as far as possible. In this section, we have the third engineer and the fourth engineer. Why not the second engineer? Because it's not like in the bridge. The second engineer is the same of the chief mate, but in the deck department. Ratings and engine cadet are included in this part. This engine crew will perform some operations like sounding, engine room tanks, and safety guards. For example, the ratings and the engine guide is also considered like a rating because the engine guide will stay in this part of the maintenance in all operations of the vessel, like oil water separator operation. Sounding and contents of all engine room tanks must be recorded daily. An engine room sounding log should be maintained by the engine department. The engine room routine. A chief engineer or appointment to a ship has to be satisfied that the general conditions are cleanliness of the machinery and engine room are properly. The fuel and lubricating oil qualities should be checked against the qualities entered in the logbook. In addition to the examination required by the survey authorities, it is important that chief engineer should arrange for the machinery under his care to be checked by the engine room staff in accordance with established standard maintenance schedules. The safety guards. Correct safety guards should be securely fixed to appliances requiring them and should be checked for security before starting any operation. Such guards should only be removed when the equipment is not operating. No machinery should be used when a guard or safety device is missing, incorrectly adjusted, or defective, or when it is itself in any way faulty. If any defect is identified, the machine should be isolated from its power source until it has been repaired. A clear notice, defect, do not use, should be posted at the operational controls. To conclude, I want to end with safety in operation. In order to avoid accidents, all personnel should execute their work and duties in a safety way in accordance with the company's safety rules, which are stated in company's SMS. Thanks for your attention.